Welcome in along with Mike Renner. I'm Cole Brown talking about our weekly Florida Gators breakdown brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the Florida Gators. Mike, Florida coming off a 47-21 win over Tennessee. Their second win in a row. They're obviously feeling pretty good. Who were some standout players on offense?
Yeah, though Felipe Franks didn't have his best game, but he did a good job of getting the ball into the hands of his playmakers when they got themselves open. Freddie Swain, to me, really stood out. Only ran 9 routes on the day in that heavy, Florida rotation that they have, but caught 2 balls for 88 yards, and that had a really nice post route, had a really nice run after the catch for a touchdown as well. So he really stood out. And then the running back, Jordan Scarlett, what he's done to sort of establish himself as the lead back for Florida. 11 attempts on the day, 7 broken tackles, 61 yards after contact. He was getting the job done, and we've said it all along. They just need to sort of get the ball in the hands of the playmakers because they have a ton of them offensively. They just don't really maybe have the best offensive line of quarterback to get into their hands, but when they do, like we saw against Tennessee, did well for them.
Man, 7 broken tackles is outstanding. Last week you mentioned Jawan Taylor on that offensive line as a guy that stood out to you. Did any guy stand out to you this week on that offensive line?
Yeah, I think they got one of Martez Ivy's best performances that we've seen from him in a Gators jersey. Didn't allow a single pressure on 22 pass blocking snaps. Had a good run blocking grade as well. That's big for them because he's always been more potential than performance on the field. If they can have him playing at a high level, and like you mentioned, Jawan Taylor on the other side, 2 bookend tackles, they're playing well. That'll do them good in SEC play.
Moving along to the defensive side of the ball, who stood out?
Yeah, Ja'Kai Polite, I think, has established himself as easily their best pass rusher at this point. We talked about it if you watched the past videos about how they needed someone to step up, someone to consistently gain pressure. He did that, sack, 2 other hurries on the day. And then we also talked about how someone besides C.J. Henderson in the secondary needed to step up as well. C.J. Henderson did his job, 1 catch for 17 yards in the day. But Brad Stewart, the safety sophomore, had a nice breakup, had a nice interception coming from deep quarters, breaking out a deep post route. Very nice from him, 90-point overall grade. And then Brian Edwards, another sophomore, 2 big pass breakups down the field. Those both could have gone for big plays. He broke them up. That was key for the game.
The defense is definitely coming on to its own.
The $1 Million Challenge is headed to Gainesville this year for the LSU-Florida game.
Oh, nothing like a game in the swamp.
I'd step out on that field in front of all those crazy Gators and I'd throw a laser.
Imagine that crowd going crazy. Marty.
Would either of y'all ever put your head in a Gator's mouth? I'd do it for $1 million.
It'd mess up your hair, though.
Enter at EckridgeFootball.com for your chance to win $1 million in the Florida LSU game.
Nope. Wouldn't move an inch.
But looking ahead to next week, they face Mississippi State coming off a 28-7 loss to Kentucky. Mississippi State's obviously going to look for that bounce-back win against Florida, but what are some keys to the game for Florida?
Yeah, Mississippi State, their own loss against Kentucky as well. So they've both lost to Kentucky at this point. Florida played them a little closer than Mississippi State did, though. Mississippi State still ranked in the top 25. But the big storyline here is obviously offensively, Nick Fitzgerald was supposed to be this, one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC heading into the season. He's only struggled, though, to a 65.3 overall grade so far. It's been an offense much more fueled by running back Kylan Hill, who's averaged 8.5 yards per carry. Ridiculous there on 36 attempts, 14 broken tackles. So that offense really relies on that run game to get going. I think they'll be able to shut down the pass game, but the biggest thing is going to be, can they score against this Mississippi State defense, who has one of the best defensive lines in the SEC? Jeffrey Simmons could be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick next spring. He is our number 4 graded interior defender in the country. And then Montez Sweat, he's the number 4 graded edge defender in the SEC right now. So they bring 2 guys there on their defensive line who can get after basically any quarterback in the nation. Florida's O-line's got to show up to play this weekend.
Well, there you have it, our weekly Florida Gators breakdown brought to you by Eckrich, the official smoked sausage of the Florida Gators. Don't forget to pick up your Eckrich smoked sausage at your local grocery store for this weekend's tailgate or homegate party. And make sure to visit EckridgeFootball.com for your great game day recipes and to enter the season-long $1 Million Challenge.